Sean O'Connor starts his workday before dawn.
The reason why I start this time of the day is the toll roads, we avoid the toll, and there's limited traffic on these local roads. It saves me, in this instance, $40.
The father of 5 has run his own delivery business for almost 2 decades. He says he simply can't afford to pay tolls.
Today what we're doing now up to Turramurra is an $80 return trip on a toll, and then my next run out of the depot down to Preston's is a $52 return trip on the M7. Over 20% of what I charge as a business for the day. It would totally make my business unfeasible. It wouldn't be worth doing it.
But not all truckies can avoid Sydney's growing number of toll motorways. That's around, I think, $66 one way.
Yeah, that sounds about right, yep, for a truck.
Steve Mashford drives for a national transport company that spends more than $150,000 each year on tolls in Sydney.
Most of the stuff that goes to the supermarket gets there by truck, whether it be from the place where it's grown or made to the shelf. It's all done by truck. Part of that cost has to be passed on.
Well, we're one of the most tolled cities in the world. Some people say we are the most tolled city in the world. Exactly $10.
New South Wales Greens MP Abigail Boyd led a parliamentary inquiry into the toll road system.
What we found is that people in Sydney are paying just to get to work, just to get to school, to get to medical appointments, and that this amount just keeps going up and is taking up so much of people's disposable income.
Transurban, one of the world's biggest toll road operators, has at least a 50% stake in 10 of Sydney's 12 toll motorways.
The problem in New South Wales is there's a lack of competition for building the toll roads. Transurban almost has a monopoly, and that means you don't get the benefit of competition, which means the tolls are higher than they otherwise need to be.
In a statement to 7:30, Transurban said it has invested $25 billion in Sydney's motorways since 2013, adding toll charges are set by the state government, not private companies.
The system is completely broken. Now, when we have the government providing so-called toll relief to drivers, what they're actually doing is just giving a direct amount of money to Transurban.
In a statement to 7:30, the New South Wales Roads Minister defended the decision to invest heavily in toll roads, arguing it had helped both Labor and Liberal governments build infrastructure faster and reduce the burden on taxpayers. That's despite her own party now being forced to subsidise residents unable to keep pace with the rising costs of using the motorways. The subsidy will cost New South Wales taxpayers $500 million over the next 2 years, while the government reviews the tolling scheme.
We'd like to see that pot of money that's been put towards sticky plaster rebates to actually look at reforming the system.
Adrian Dwyer from Infrastructure Partnerships Australia represents companies involved in government projects, including Transurban. But do you think, though, that it is a fair and equitable system given that people in those outer suburbs tend to be from poorer backgrounds and they don't always have the option of taking a different route?
There's definitely cases at the margins where there are people that are exposed to a fairly high burden of cost of tolls, but there are measures in place like the toll relief system to cater for that.
There's no silver bullet as to how to fix this, but I think step one is for the New South Wales government not to add any further toll roads to the network. There's only 2 ways that you can pay for roads. One is from drivers and the other is from taxpayers. So the idea of toll roads is that drivers would pay more, a sort of a user pays idea. But once you get these toll relief schemes, what you're really doing is saying we want taxpayers to stump up more of the cost.
Transurban's toll road network is not limited to Sydney. The company owns all of Brisbane's 6 toll roads and will soon operate 2 in Melbourne.
I think the governments of New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland have all sort of fallen into the same trap, really, of thinking that toll roads are going to sort of push off into the never, the need to deal with the costs of building road. I think New South Wales is further advanced in that it's got a dozen of these toll roads and it's now got these toll relief schemes. I think the most important thing is for Victoria and Queensland to look at what's happened in New South Wales and to try to not make the same mistakes.
Being an owner-driver, there's enough economic stress managing everything else that goes into the business, and then all of a sudden you have a toll bill which automatically goes up on set dates every year, regardless of what the economic situation currently is at the moment.
For Sean O'Connor, there might only be one solution.
It is something that I'm considering serious at the moment. Do I want to continue in this line of work? You know, am I better off to go and drive for someone, or am I better off to go and work in a warehouse?